was the first vehicle in the midsize segment to offer standard electronic stability control. We continue that in 2011, and we'd like to think that hopefully that was one of the reasons that started to drive NHTSA really to require it as standard. We also have things such as the active front head restraints. We have 6 standard airbags that are in here, and again, we were one of the leaders in implementation of side impact airbags. And then we have high use of high-density steel, as well as a front multi-cone structure. And the front multi-cone structure not only provides impact from other cars, but it actually also improves that, and hopefully no one does it, but if you do hit a pedestrian, they have a better chance of survival. When we launched the Genesis in 2008, we went out to AMCI and had them do a lot of third-party validation testing for us, because again, consumers are not all that aware of Hyundai. So that's one of the items out there, and we like to think of that as really as opportunity for us. So the more that we can actually provide them with information about Hyundai, the better chance that we have of being on their shopping list. So in part of that building awareness is actually having third parties actually do the validation for us of our products versus our competitors. And here actually you can see that the Sonata performs very well and exceeds really even upmarket vehicles such as a Lexus ES350 or Mercedes-Benz C-Class. And we do this because it's one thing to be competitive against your average competitive set or the people who you're directly competing. This really says to consumers that not only were we able to attain and achieve parity with our direct competitors, but even at higher levels of benchmarks. From the cabin amenities, we have things such as push-button start, and this is new for the Sonata, and that is standard on our SE trim level and limited trim levels. So we do still have a key in our GLS, and we have some of those outside for you to drive. We have, what's new for us is a vacuum fluorescent type display, and this actually has an eco indicator in it. And this enables consumers to actually improve their driving style, if you will, so that they can maximize their fuel economy. The other advantage of this vacuum fluorescent is it gives almost an electroluminescent type design without having the additional cost that's associated with that. So we're really happy that this has one of those, again, really pops when you're inside the car and provides a nice sporty character to the overall IP. You also have steering wheel paddle shifters, and these are standard on our SE trim level. And then key point for us is, again, we're not only building safe cars and cars that are looking dynamic, but also new technology that we're putting into cars, and really portrays us as a technology leader. And so we've actually had Bluetooth standard in all 2011 Sonatas. So that means even if someone goes in at some point to an Avis and they get a rental car, they still will have Bluetooth technology. And what an impression that makes overall to a consumer when they get into a car. We have standard, or on our limited trim level, we have standard front and rear heated seats, and the rear heated seats, again, is something that's new and is also first in segment for this car. And then for second row, again, adding to second row passenger comfort, we have rear airbags. We have several different types of audio technologies that we're implementing in the Sonata. We have our standard AM/FM XM CD changer with MP3 capability. And then in our limited trim level, as part of its standard, we have actually AM/FM, XM, and HD radio. And again, Sonata, with its implementation of HD radio, is the first within its segment to offer that as a factory installed option. So that's, again, it's an option in the sense that it's not on all trim levels, but it is standard on our limited, and we're the first out there to have that standard in this mid-size segment. We were first out there implementing XM satellite radio across the board in the non-luxury category, and we continue to offer XM satellite radio in the Sonata. We also have iPod USB connectivity, and this has high-speed USB 2.0 functionality, enables actually to update the maps from the USB port. And then we're introducing this new audio in-house brand called Dimension, And we've introduced this so that we're able to offer premium audio at a more affordable price, really, for consumers. And this is tied to our navigation systems on our GLS and SE trims. So now we have a more premium audio that's available on even lower trim levels. And then at the top of our model range, we still have Infinity with a 400-watt system that is offered with our limited navigation system. And in our navigation systems, they're not just navigation. We've actually incorporated, in addition to the 6.5-inch touchscreen, we have a rear view camera that's on our limited model. It will be optional on our GLS and SE trim levels. And then we have XM nav weather as well as XM nav traffic that is available. And then also XM stock ticker as well as sports. And so these will be optional, or they're actually standard for the first 90 days, and then a consumer can decide whether or not they like that. The stock as well as the sports is part of the XM standard radio package. So if a consumer decides only to keep the XM radio, they'll be able to keep that functionality as well, because those items are provided via XM. We've also implemented Bluetooth streaming audio. This is one of those items that we introduced last year with our 2010 all-new Tucson that we recently introduced. We do offer the Sonata in 3 different trim levels. Our GLS trim level is really our core and volume model, and that's why we have these outside as well for you to look at. And then we have our Sporty SE, as well as our limited, fully luxurious model, and that we have really flavors of all these outside for you. Now, I'm not going to make you try to read this, even though there should be a test, but it's really actually in your packet that you have, and it should excuse me, to provide you with the detail that you need, really to go through. If you want to know the specifics, it's there for you. But really, this is just to give you an idea of percentage of mix. So our GLS makes up 60% of our overall mix, the SE 10%, and then limited, rounding it out with an additional 30%. Our 2.4 manual transmission at the base makes up about 2% of our overall mix. And again, that's something that is really a stretch to even get to 2% on that. Previously, on our last generation Sonata, we had a manual transmission coupled with our SE trim level, but there was really low demand for that. We basically had orders of less than several hundred on that. And what we were getting actually from our field and our dealers was that consumers really wanted the SE with an automatic. So they wanted this sporty looking, sporty driving type car, but they really wanted the automatic transmission in there. So as a result, we removed the manual transmission from the SE trim level and instead replaced it with an automatic. When you step up from GLS to SE, just to point out some key items, again, SE gets to more sporty suspension, along with the paddle shifters. You also get sports seats that are a leather bolstered with a cloth insert into them. So again, giving a little bit more grip, and again, that is more of a sporty flavor. When you step up to the limited, that's when you get your leather in the car. You get dual automatic climate control system in there, and you also get the standard HD radio. We do offer 10 different colors out there. From an interior perspective, we have a gray, we have a camel color interior, we have black, and then we have actually, again, more of the design, again, taking this car more design forward direction. We offer a wine interior, and we have one of these cars, or 2 of these outside for you as well, so you get an idea of what this wine is. The wine interior, again, not necessarily meant to be a volume interior color for us, but again, for a customer who says, you know what, I want to break out of the ordinary. And that's really what this new Sonata is. It's about breaking out of the ordinary and standing out and having something that really, makes someone feel sexy and good about what they're driving. Exciting about the Sonata is that it actually is starting under $20,000. So we've been able to maintain an under $20,000 starting price for the car, and we've actually improved the value that's in the base car. So when you look at the